Breaking news tonight on the vote that will impact benefits for military members. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly, live from the world headquarters of Fox News in New York City. Plus,
a Marine says he was just doing the right thing, warning about a threat that led to the murder of 3 fellow Marines. Now the military wants him dishonorably discharged? New evidence tonight in our ongoing Kelly File investigation. Plus, the First Lady dives into the healthcare mess with an Oval Office pitch, and we'll show you why a 20-something man in footy pajamas is the big new thing in the Obamacare debate.
Everybody happy, happy, happy.
And Duck Dynasty in hot water for controversial comments. One of the show's stars responds tonight.
And breaking tonight, a gut punch to America's military. The Senate just approving a budget that takes away from the retirement pay of those who fought for our flag, including some of our most severely injured wounded warriors. They're the ones who are going to have to pay. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. So it's done now. We've been talking about whether they'd do it. They did it. The House passed the bipartisan deal last week. Only then did we learn that it included cuts to the retirement pay of our veterans. Most of these men and women serving while our nation fought 2 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And many of these volunteer soldiers were asked to return to the battlefield again and again, doing 2, 3, even 4 tours of duty. And there was an explicit promise that this pay would not be cut. Of course, many returned home severely disabled, forced to, quote, retire, but really it's a disability forced retirement, and now asked to sacrifice again to cover a budget gap because Washington can't get its act together. Military families have come forward all week to tell us how this breaks a sacred trust.
All we're asking are members of Congress and our elected leaders to honor their word. We don't have a union representing us. All we have is our faith in our government to honor the promises that they have made to those who have served. Some of us agreed to stay in the military longer at congressional bidding because the military needed us, and we want them to honor their word, and that's not too much to ask.
Joining me now, Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who voted to approve this budget deal today. Senator Johnson, I want to start with this. I give you credit for coming on because we called a lot of people who voted for this, and to be perfectly honest, they were cowards. They didn't want to come out and defend it. And you did. You're a stand-up guy, so defend it, because people are really upset about this.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to defend the cut in the military pensions. I mean, it's outrageous that Senator Harry Reid would not allow us to offer an amendment to take care of that. That is the worst part of this compromise deal. I'll tell you why I voted for the compromise deal. Megyn, it's impossible to convey the dysfunction that is in, that is Washington, that's in the United States Senate. And, that dysfunction causes all kinds of economic harm. I didn't want to see another government shutdown. And, so this agreement at least prevents government shutdowns through fiscal year 2015. But I'll tell you where there's bipartisan agreement, and it is in honoring the promises to the finest among us. I'm going to work tirelessly to make sure that that part of the bill is reversed. There's plenty of areas in the federal government where we can find the $6 billion.
I know. I mean, O'Reilly, 1 hour ago, tonight, was doing a segment on how there's $17.5 million tax break to brothels. To brothels. $17.5 million.
Megyn,
I mean, and the wounded veterans have to take this?
I've got Tom Coburn's, his 4th waste book. This book alone shows $30 billion per year in discretionary waste.
But help us understand, Senator. You voted for that. So all that waste, you just voted for. And if there's the willingness to fix this later, why did they cause the problem now?
Megyn, we didn't get an opportunity to put any kind of amendment to fix it. This was an up or down vote. We had one shot. And again, I didn't like that. There's all kinds of.
Then why wouldn't you say no? I mean, just explain for the folks at home. If it's yes or no,
sure.
Why not say no? This isn't good enough because you're screwing over the vets.
Because our economy is hurting from the dysfunction of this Washington, D.C. And one of the things this thing actually does is give us a budget number so that agencies, departments, and committees in Congress can actually start rationally prioritizing spending. Look for areas of waste. and start eliminating them. So this Congress actually starts doing its job. Megan, we haven't passed an appropriation bill in the United States Senate in 2 years. That's the primary function of Congress, to authorize government activity and pass the funding for it. And we haven't done one appropriation bill in 2 years. So I just thought it was about time to provide a little bit of certainty, just a little bit, to our economy, so that we can provide some confidence to business leaders, so they can actually create the jobs.
But listen, let me ask you this, because you've got, okay, sure. Let me jump, because we only got a minute left. But Senator Patty Murray, a Democrat, and Congressman Paul Ryan put this together, right. a Republican. And she came out now, she negotiated the deal, all right? So she's very actively involved in these trade-offs. And she says, included the wounded veterans, you know, basically cutting them short in there. Well, that was a mistake. Right. That actually was a mistake. She negotiated this. This makes the American people feel like the people inside the Beltway don't know their you-know-what from their elbow.
That's right. It's impossible to convey how dysfunctional this place is. You know, this is a terrible process. I'm a manufacturer. If you don't have a good process, you have terrible products. And so all I'm trying to do is bring some functionality, and I'm quite confident. First of all, Patty Murray has guaranteed us she will fix the Wounded Warrior technical correction here, but I'm pretty confident that we'll find $6 billion in other mandatory savings. This thing doesn't kick in until 2015. And so we've got time to do this. We've got a lot of pieces of legislation. We will correct this. That's certainly my guarantee to the finest among us, the people that protect our freedom.
Good for you for coming on and talking about it, Senator. Seriously, we appreciate it. All the best to you.
Well, you have a Merry Christmas.
You too, sir.